Slaughterhouse 5 is a novel written by Kurt Vonnegut. This book was first published in 1969. It was one of his most popular and influential works, but at the same time was one of his most controversial. Slaughterhouse 5 is a science fiction story that's centered around Billy Pilgrim, who is a World War II veteran. After being abducted by aliens, Billy is able to travel back and forth through time. This concept is used throughout the story to tell events that Billy experienced during his lifetime. Most of his travels revolve around his experience as a prisoner of war in World War II and the bombing of Dresden. Through this, the reader sees the terrors of war and the suffering of innocent people. The main theme of the novel is war and peace. Vonnegut stated that war is not the enterprise of glory and heroism, but an uncontrolled catastrophe for all involved. World War II is seen as a justified conflict that defeated the Nazi regime by many people. However, Vonnegut sees only victims on all sides, which is shown by the execution of an American soldier by German soldiers, and the bombing of Dresden, in which 135,000 German civilians lost their lives. Another theme of this book is alienation and loneliness. Billy is depicted as one of those alienated individuals due to his time-traveling powers and experiences of war. This symbolizes the loneliness and alienation felt by survivors of war and other catastrophes. This is a book that teaches the suffering and struggles of war in a very unique way. However, this book brought along a lot of controversy. It was even ranked 46 on the ALA's 100 most banned books. So why was this book banned at many American schools? The primary reason for the banning was the use of vulgar language and sexual content. Wesley Scroggins, a professor at Missouri State University, stated that this is a book that contains so much profane language that it will make a sailor blush with shame. He also stated that the F word is plastered on almost every other page. Recently, a Missouri high school removed the novel from the school curriculum and library due to its use of really intense language. However, I believe that the book should not be banned at schools. In fact, I believe that schools should encourage students to read this book. The book has been widely praised by many readers. It was even ranked as one of the top 100 best contemporary novels in the English language. Also, students have a First Amendment right to get access to any information in the school library. Banning this book would infringe those rights. In November of 1973, the Drake Public School Board members voted that the books were to be taken away from students and burned. However, students and English teachers protested against this idea by refusing to hand over the books. This shows that the students understand that Slaughterhouse 5 is a moral book, and that it wasn't all about the language used in the book. It also showed that the school board members didn't read the novel carefully, and that they judged it solely on the use of the words. As more and more people supported the protests against the ban of the novel, Drake High School finally allowed Slaughterhouse 5 to be taught in classes. It certainly is true that Slaughterhouse 5 uses words and content that seem inappropriate. However, many people are simply misinterpreting the theme of the story. Vonnegut mentioned in his letter to Drake High School that he wrote the book so people will be more responsible and kinder than they often are. I believe that allowing high school students to read this book will turn them into a responsible person who has a much wider perspective on society.